Hi, so this video is going to be about using MIDI CC messages to change the patch, change the sound on each of my hardware synths. So this is quite a useful thing to do. If you've got a song, first of all you want to set all the right patches on all of the different hardware you have when the song plays. And then maybe partway through the song you want to change instruments. Well, you can do all that quite easily on the Pyramid. But it's quite tricky, I guess, if you're new to MIDI CC and so on. But anyway, somebody will find it useful. So I've just turned on the Pyramid. It's completely clean slate, and aside from the Pyramid, I have a bunch of different hardware. So I have I have a Moog synth here. I have a mixer. I've got a Roland Rompler. With a controller keyboard on top, a drum machine, a Prophet synth, and a Nord synth, and maybe a Blofeld synth as well. We'll use that maybe. So a bunch of different stuff. So let's say I'm going to create a simple tune with a couple of tracks, and I want the Moog here to be on track 1, and I want that particular patch. So if I look at the screen, that patch is called it's called Stranger Thing, and it's A61. So that's bank A, and it's patch 61. Most synths kind of organise their programs or patches into banks called A, B, C, D, but not all. I guess we'll maybe come on to that. Okay, let's try and focus this on the screen a bit so you can see what's going on. Right, so track 1 is selected. First thing I'm going to do is just set the length of the track. So try and do this with one hand. Track length. Oops. Track length will be 4 bars. Oh, sorry about this crazy video, not wanting to focus on the screen. Okay, second thing I'm going to do is check the MIDI channel. So again, hold down track, hit channel, and I'm going to change this value to be the same channel that the Moog is receiving on, which is 13 in my case. Right, so the next thing we need to do is we need to tell the sequencer to change the patch to the one I want when this track starts to play. So the way we do that is by 3 values, 3 messages we need to send. So if we go to step mode, hold down step and turn it all the way to the right, you get CC messages. The 3 messages we need to send are numbers 0, this is a bank MSB, message 32, which is bank LSB, and then a program change as well. So MSB stands for most significant bit, LSB stands for least significant bit, and it's kind of like a throwback to the early days where you may have more banks than you can name with just 128, because basically MIDI values go from 0 to 127, so it's 128 different values, and having 2 different codes, MSB and LSB, basically allows you to have a larger set of numbers, so 128 times 128. I think that's how it works anyway. It's not important for what we need to know. What we need to know is what values to send. So most hardware synths, this is going to be 0 for bank MSB, and for bank LSB, bank LSB, which is 32. Oh, hang on a second, I forgot something. So bank MSB, even though the message is 0, we obviously have to send that message. So I'm going to change the value whatever the value is set to, which is currently 63, and change that down to 0. So it's message 0 and the value is 0. Now I'm going to hit 1. So basically that is like one beat in a, if you were programming a rhythm or something, that would be like a beat. In this case it's like I'm sending this message now, and I'm sending message 0 with a value 0. Now if I change let's just change hands. If I change, let's move it and wait for it to focus a second. Creative video. Okay, scrub that. Let's go back to the screen. You're just going to have to trust me on this one. So I'm going to change it up to 32. If you hold down the second button, so that guy, then you can move through these a bit quicker. But there's only 128, I think, anyway. So yeah, bank LSB is the second value we're sending. Now the way you work this one out is, again, typically, and it varies between hardware synth, I'll come on to later, but for fairly standard situation, then this is going to be either 0 for your bank A. So let's change this to 0, because going back to my Moog a second, I am choosing bank A, patch 61. So for bank A this is going to be 0. For B it'll be 1. For C, 2, D, 3, and so on. So this is code, CC message code 32, bank LSB, and the value is, in my case, 0 for bank A. So I'm just going to hit that again. Now as I change the CC messages, what I was going to try and show before is, as I change the CC message to go from 32 to 33, you'll see that light goes out. So we're not sending message 33, whatever that might be, we're sending 32, not 33, 32, and so on. So you can send multiple messages at the same time, which is good because we need to do that. So we've set bank message 0, we've set message 32. The last one is program change, which is the last message in the list, number 128, I believe. Oh, maybe not. Anyway, it's the last one here, and basically this number, the value of this, is the number of the patch. And again, that can get tricky to work out, but on a lot of synths that would just be the number that you see on the screen. So in my case it's A61, so we set this to be 61, there we go, and then we send that message. So now we're sending 3 messages: program change, number 32, which is, there we go, that's lit up. Number 32 is the bank LSB, which is 0 for bank A, and bank MSB, which is 0 in this case, is always 0 on this particular synth. So now we can test that. So assuming I've got my MIDI channel correct and everything else, I can test that. Let's just zoom out a second by doing this. So first of all I'm going to set this to some random, I'll change bank to bank F, and I'm going to change the bank, and change the patch number to 125. So there's a crappy sound there. Now if I come down here and press the stop key twice, it'll send whatever MIDI message is. So this is basically the same as if you just hit play. So I've hit the stop key twice and flip my hands. Now it's set to the right patch. So let's do that again and talk about some of the weirder things that you can find as well. So let's do track 2. So hold down track and press number 2. Set the channel for track 2, which in this case is 8. go to step mode, and again hold down the step key and turn this all the way to the right to get CC messages. Okay, so channel 8 in my case is the Prophet 08. Prophet 08 has got two banks of patches, bank 1 and bank 2, which is different to the Moog, which is banks A, B, C, D. So in this case it's still 0 for the bank MSB when I send that, but for bank LSB, message 32, I'm going to be sending 0 if I want bank 1 and 1 if I want bank 2. Keeping up? Okay. So this is program 34, bank 2. So let's try and do this a bit quicker this time. So first of all, my CC message for my bank MSB is going to be 0. Let's set the value to 0 and hit that. Now my LSB is message 32. That is going to be, it's actually bank 2 on the Prophet. Bank 2. So I'm sending anybody. I'm sending a 1, because 0 will be 1 and 1 is 2. It's kind of offset. So I set 1, press that. Finally, program change, and I'm sending the number of the program or patch. Patch program, I kind of use them interchangeably. It means different things, different manufacturers. But so this is program 34, bank 2. So come back here, set the value to 34. Hit that. There we go. And now that should be set up, because it's set to channel 8, and yeah. So once again, let's just screw this up, change it. So first of all, I change it to bank 1 and change it different. So this is program 1, bank 1. I don't want that. I'm going to hit the stop key twice again on the pyramid, and yay, we've got bank 2, program 34. That's the one. Cool. Right. So where it gets more complex is when you have a piece of hardware that basically has a completely different setup for the bank numbering. So like I said, usually it's 0 for MSB and 0, 1, 2, 3, etc. for LSB. If you've got a Roland, so I'm using this Roland Rompler XV5050. It's pretty much a vintage piece of kit these days, but it's yeah, it's okay, it does its job. So that is currently a patch user bank, and it's patch number patch number 11. So in this case, I'm using the word patch because Roland used the word patch. They call combinations of different patches performances. Yamaha keyboards do something similar but slightly different. I forget now. I don't have one nearby, but okay. So let's choose something first. Let's choose the patch finder, find something nice. That might do. Okay, let's go with that. So this is PC54, so it's bank C, because it's PA, PB, PC and so on this. So bank C, the third bank, and it's number 54. So if you check the manual for the XV5050, or whatever gear you've got, you usually find a page like this, MIDI implementation, and right down here you'll find information like bank MSB and LSB, and it tells you the numbers that you need to send. So you're going to need to look in the back of your reference manual to find these sometimes. I guess that's where I'm going with this. So to set that that one, PC54, we're going to have to send some different numbers. So track 3 this time. Channel is 1 in my case for this instrument. So make sure you're sending on the right channel, obviously, that's going to be the most important thing. And then we go to step mode, hold down the step key, turn it to the right, CC messages. So in the case of the Roland, I need to send bank message 0 for the MSB, but the value is 87, because that's what they, in their wisdom, have chosen. For the next one, which is LSB, I need to choose 64 for bank A, 65 for bank B, and 66 for bank C. So 66 it is. So there's my 32. Message 32, value 66. Let me just check that I actually set that one. I didn't. So this should have been, for 0 I said, what did I say, 87. Don't forget to do what I just forgot to do, which is to actually send, make sure that's lit, because that means on the first beat of the bar it's sending that MIDI data. So we've got 0, we've got 32, the last one is the patch number, program change itself, and the value for that is 54. Once again, let's send that, and you can test it. So let me screw this up by changing banks. So we're on bank Here we go. We're on bank PF19, which sounds like that. And if I hit stop twice, it's changed to bank PC54. Cool. So one last thing, I probably won't go through the process again, but one last thing to mention is sometimes the program number will be different to the program number you program in by 1. So basically, if your program numbers on your machine, on your hardware, are starting with 1, then you might need to offset them, because I think, or is it 0? I forget. Let's just check this one. So the first program is program 1, so that should work fine. But if you've got, like for example this drum machine, if I send, the program number is basically 1 out. It's like if I want it to be, say, 15, then I have to send 16. But you can figure that out. That's the other gotcha. So basically that's it. MSB, LSB, and program change. Those 3 numbers. Send them all with the right values, and you're good to go. Good luck.